That's a hell of a way to start a live, guys. Start it up and drop the camera. So I'm out at the North Lawrence camp today, and there's a city meeting this evening. I'll turn this around, you can get a view of the camp today. And again, there's more tents outside of the camp than there is inside. But if any of you were paying attention online in the last couple days, you would have seen an article that was put out by Chancey Long on Substack that City of Lawrence eyes LCS location for spot for 45 pallet shelters and requests an increase in services in exchange for another $150,000 promise. And I call it a $150,000 promise because that's basically what it is. Because what we've seen happen in the past, the city will make promises that they don't live up to. And these trucks are going to go by, so I'm going to go ahead and walk down here. They're moving stuff along the levee today. But what you're going to see tonight at the city commission is a move by the city to solve their provider issue. And that provider issue is basically that they put out an RFP for people to run pallet, service provider type folks to come in and manage the pallet site so that best practices are implemented and things like this. And nobody responded. The reason nobody responded is at City Hall, which is right across the river there. And the people in City Hall who are making these decisions. And instead of adjusting themselves, what they've done is they've decided to run roughshod over everything. And they're making another $150,000 promise to LCS apparently in exchange to be able to put 45 pallet homes out there. And if you guys go look at that contract that they're wanting, or the ordinance, the expectations in the agenda is that the shelter, LCS, Lawrence Community Shelter, will provide additional services to unhoused. In some off-the-record discussions today, it became apparent that the city intends to have LCS run the pallet village. And the only thing left to be answered is what's going to happen with the employees that they have out here. Are those employees just going to be deemed accessible to go over and run the pallet after the failures here? Is Ron Zahorik really going to be the supervisor? A 44-time felon and somebody that greenlights violence among these people themselves? Is that going to be the person that you're going to put in charge of this? And then Pinckney neighborhood, you guys really need to be questioning things yourselves. It's going to get a little loud because that truck's going by. But the Pinckney neighborhood, you guys need to be asking a lot of questions of your representative, Bart Littlejohn. And Bart, I hope you're asking a lot of questions of the right people in city staff of how this problem is not going to be transferred to North Michigan. I know CC at the Children's Learning Center had some extreme concerns. The Pinckney Neighborhood Association had some extreme concerns. And you guys don't have a track record of being able to accomplish anything. And you're going to just basically transplant everything over into their neighborhood at the behest of Rick Renfro and Lisa Larson. Is that what we're really doing in this town? Guys, I know there's some backroom conversations happening, and I know there's an impact happening as a result of the light that's getting shown around here. So you can continue to kid yourselves and try to jail people and try to turn people against others. But what's going to happen is you're going to end up needing to recognize facts. And the fact is that the city does not have the resources, the ability, nor the inclination to handle this appropriately, and it needs to be passed off to an appropriate service provider, not one that's been co-opted by the city. Because what's happening today is they're going to go into that commission room, again, right across that river there. Craig can probably see this camp from his office, and it's probably a craw in his ass. But they're going to go in there tonight, and they're going to put 3 people on a board, 2 more people from the county, and they're going to leave 2 spots open of the LCS existing board. And they're going to reorganize the governing structure of LCS and force them into things. Again, with weak commitments and little follow-through. We've seen them commit big money for the expansion of services in the spring, in March, that didn't materialize. And now they're going to make more promises. This is just a problem it's not going to go away. It's not going to be managed. It's not going to be controlled by the city. It needs to be passed off to the service providers. Guys, your input tonight matters. The city commission meeting tonight, 5:45 is when they generally start up with the public portion of it. They're going to have an executive session beforehand. I'd get there around 5:30. There's going to be a lot of people there tonight, I hope, speaking out about this and talking about things. But if you're going to go in there tonight, this is the time. If you were ever going to speak up about what your thoughts are on how the city's handling the homeless, this is your time. And I want to tell you, there was a business owner that claimed his old Sonic property over there was being invaded. Well, there's a couple problems with that business owner coming in there. I had my issues with the way Rick Renfro went in and kind of demanded things and shut down his restaurant and such. But when somebody goes in and lies, because the person that owns the property at 1003 North 3rd, the old Sonic location out here, he goes in there and acts like he's been assaulted by homeless people. What actually happens is him and his people go out and claim property around them that isn't theirs and tell homeless people it's their property and they have to leave, and then they start kicking ass. And then they call the police when the homeless people come back with a pipe. How come they didn't call the police in the beginning? Handle it right. No, because they wanted to kick ass. And the same guy, go look up the Sonic property, 1003 North 3rd. Go look it up on the Kansas tax rolls. You'll see that property taxes hasn't been paid since 2020. And the reason those were paid, yours truly paid them. So yeah, all you people that want to call me an anarchist and anti-government person, I paid my fucking taxes. Other people don't, but they go in there and make demands of the damn city under false pretense. And by the way, that business owner that claims that, you know, he's restoring and doing all this great work in North Lawrence and stuff, that's actually the guy that owns the Paradise Saloon, you know, the strip club out north of town that tried to sue the county a couple times over mask mandates. And yeah, I'll just leave that one there. City commission tonight, guys, you need to be there because the wrong people are being listened to. And unless you're in there talking, they're not going to hear any other voices. They're not going to hear mine. They got me out of there for 60 days, just long enough to get this done. I'm back the night of the election if there's a meeting that night. I haven't checked yet. But, and everybody just remember, when you go to the polls over the next couple weeks or so, just remember Courtney Shipley is a liar. She just is a liar. That's all there is to it. And a liar does not deserve a vote. Vote for anybody other than Courtney Shipley. That's a strong recommendation from a person that's straight up honest with you. And that's about all I'm going to have for today, guys. I want you all at the city commission meeting tonight. I'll hopefully have a hell of a good highlight video to show, and then we're going to have some I told you moments about a year from now when the city just goes ahead and does whatever the hell they're going to do and then screws it all up. Stand by.